This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself. Today we have a Miele dishwasher with a noisy circulation pump. So we're going to be repairing it with this partition kit that we got from Miele USA. These are all the parts that come with it. Here's the part number. There at the top. And the first thing we'll need to do is unplug the dishwasher, and we're going to be removing it from the cabinet. So I'm just prying off these little plastic covers. They're covering up some screws that are holding the dishwasher to the cabinet. I'll go ahead and pull out this bottom one, take out the filter. I got to get the water out of that filter area too, because we're going to lay it on its side, so we got to get all the water out. So I'm just ladling it out with a little bowl, and then I'll use a turkey baster to get whatever's left. That's so when you turn it on the side, you don't get a bunch of water coming out. There we go. Just going to put the little one-way valve back in. And I'll take out the screws that are holding it in. Sometimes there's screws at the top too that go into the countertop. I'm going to take these screws out of the kick plate below. I think these are Torx 15 screws. And then I'm going to just pull the dishwasher out toward me. Usually there's enough of a power cord length and also the drain length and also the intake water line that you can pull the dishwasher all the way out of the cabinet. But you may need to disconnect one of those three things. So just pull it out slowly. If you feel some resistance, then look underneath the sink and see which hose or power cord is stopping it. Now I'm going to lay it on its left side, so its right side is up toward me. And then I'm going to be removing the bottom panel. There's 4 screws, 2 in the front, and there's 2 underneath on the back. This is called the drip plate. So if the dishwasher ever leaks, the water will get caught in there. And also it activates a float that tells the dishwasher to stop letting water come in. I'm going to loosen these 2 little screws here, and I'll pull the panel off. And now I can get to all the things that are connected to the circulation pump. So I'm going to use my hose clamps to press in and lift this hose clamp up by about 1.5 inches. I'm going to pull off these little guys. They're bringing heat to the heater element. Those are just spade connectors. I'm just going to wiggle them off. Pull off this green wire, which is an earth or ground connection. Here's another one, earth ground connection. I'm going to pull off these gray wires. They're bringing power to the circulation pump. So I have to just pull back on a little plastic tab, and then I can wiggle it off. Alright, I'm going to use my pliers to remove this hose clamp, move it down by a couple inches. Circulation pump is connected to a lot of different things. So there's a Torx 15 screw here on the back. This is the screw that's holding the pump to the frame. So I got to get that one out. And now I'm going to gently pry up on this yellow hose. Be careful about these yellow hoses. Sometimes the rubber is really old and it's going to crack easily. So just take your time and remove this hose clamp here on the back one too. These are the hoses that bring water to the different spray arms. One to the very top and the other one to the middle arm. I'm just going to gently pry up there, get those loose. I'm going to pry off this bigger one. There we go. This is the heater relay right here. This is the float switch. It has a little micro switch, and when water comes in, it kicks in and shuts off. That's the motor capacitor. This is the blower motor for when you're trying to get rid of the steam at the drying cycle, and it vents out right here. It comes out of this little hole. So now we're going to work on the heater pressure switch. This thing down here, we're going to remove 4 wires that are hooked to it. So we're going to pinch in, pull those down. There's 2 in the front, which are white wires, and 2 in the back, which are black wires. To help you remember, you could think B for back and B for black. They're the ones that go in the back. And the white ones would be towards you. That's the heater pressure switch. So this dishwasher was working pretty good. It was just getting really loud during circulation, and the water was not circulating as well as it should. So we're going to figure out maybe there's something blocking the impeller. Here we're going to pull down on a little green wire there. I'm going to use a screwdriver to help pry that down. That's another ground wire that's hooked to the heater pressure switch. And I think that's it. I think we can now get the circulation pump out so we can work on it. It's kind of like the heart of the machine. I'm just taking those 2 yellow hoses off. Be careful, don't let those get cracked. I'm going to pry in against the frame to push the frame out by about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to angle the circulation pump out toward me at about 45 degrees. Just got to use a little bit of a pry bar. There we go. Now it's going to come free of the sump housing. Get that little ground wire off. There we go. And now we're going to use Torx 15 driver to take out a screw here at the top on the heating element. Another one here. Then we're going to use a standard head screwdriver to pry up on 2 metal pieces that are also holding it on. Just give it a little upward pressure, pry it out slightly. When we check the ohms resistance on those 2 terminals on the heating element, we got 11.3. So that's a good amount of ohms. I think that's 11,000 ohms. We're going to pry up now to get the heater relay out of there. To get the heater element out. There we go. There's the impeller underneath. And this is a new O-ring that comes in the kit. I'm going to take off the old one that's part of the heater element assembly. Put on the new O-ring. Make sure you remember to put that on. Get it in there nice and snug. It's going to give you a nice watertight connection. There we go. So I noticed the old impeller had broken in half, and that's why it wasn't really pumping well, and also why it was really noisy. So now I'm going to pry up gently on this plastic tab on both sides of the heater relay, the heater pressure switch, and pry it off, because we're going to put that on the new housing that comes with the partition kit we got from Miele USA. Putting some hand soap, some liquid hand soap on all the rubber parts, that's going to make the reassembly a little bit easier. It acts like a lubricant. If you don't put that on, you can still reassemble it, but it's just a little bit harder. Put some on this O-ring. So if you need to get this partition kit, just call Miele USA and give them your model number. Tell them you need a partition kit and they can send you one. So putting some hand soap on the inside of these hoses so they can go on easier, and the inside of this area. This helps on reassembly. I'm going to take this section and put it back onto the motor. First I'll go ahead and put the heater pressure switch back on. So it comes with some new seals in the kit. You just pull off the old black seals, put on new ones, put some hand soap on there and just push in until it clicks. Make sure it's all the way in, nice and snug. So now we got the two assemblies put back together. I'm going to twist to the left, get it in there really tight, and add the screws. I'm putting the impeller back on. It goes lefty-loosey is how you tighten it. It's kind of backwards, reverse threads. I'm going to put a standard head screwdriver in here to hold it still while I tighten up the impeller. I'm going to put the heater element back on, and I'll go ahead and add those two Torx 15 screws, and just put these on slowly, kind of go back and forth, tight on one side, a little more tension, so you can get the even pressure. There we go, nice and tight. Got it. Now we're going to bend those metal tabs back down over the plastic catches using a small standard head screwdriver. I'm going to hook it underneath the plastic tab and bend that metal tab back down onto it, and then on the other side too. What helps is, I think, is if you pull down as you bend that back. Alright, we did all the reconnections. Sorry we didn't get that all on the video. Just putting the drip plate back on and adding those 4 screws that hold it. And when we tested it, it did really good. No more noise, and it had better cleaning ability because it was able to move the water better. So hopefully this will help you with your Miele also. And when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.